Timeouts away from the opening tip. Duke at 20-2, and the Clemson Tigers at 18-5. Clemson wins the opening tip, and we are underway. Already it has been an electrifying evening, and we're just getting started as this giant crowd packed to the gills. Welcome back, Dick Vitale. Quick turnover here for the Clemson Tigers.
Well, they're such a great defensive team. You know, Corey, when you look at Duke, everybody talks about their offensive efficiency, but defensively, they are so efficient.
Absolutely, Coach Vitale, and when you consider you want to be a championship team and win games like this in a hostile environment, your defense absolutely has to travel.
Well, Tyrese Proctor knocking down the first one as he hits the three. A look at the Clemson Tigers and their starting five, including the Hunters, and Shefflin, a big body in the middle. On the run, and up and in by Sion James as he got it to go.
He's been really terrific. When you talk about James, he's one of the guys who came with that transfer portal. They brought in some outstanding guys. Gillis, who's not playing today, but also Brown from Syracuse, and James. They fit perfectly with the superstar diaper dandies they brought in.
Dylan Hunter, the 6'3" junior, with the first foul to put James at the line. And he knocks that down for a three-point play. 6-0 Duke.
Not the kind of start, if you're Clemson, you don't want to fall back 14-1 to start in the crowd and get quiet, Corey.
You absolutely don't want that, especially after coming off a triple overtime loss here on your home floor, possibly looking ahead to this Duke game.
Hunter getting it downstairs to the big. That's Viktor Lakhin and a foul. He's 6'11" from Russia. And the foul will go against Proctor, number one.
Well, one of the reasons they lost that triple overtime game was because they lost Lakhin during the game. He got fouled out, would play 15 minutes out of 55 minutes with the triple overtime. They need him on the floor.
Good shot up and in by Dylan Hunter to get Clemson on the board. Yeah, they did lose on Tuesday in triple overtime to Georgia Tech. As you look at the Duke starting five, including, of course, Cooper Flagg, the Player of the Year candidate. Malawach, the big, at 7'2". Seems like everybody for Duke is big. They're the tallest team in America.
They got Shefflin matching up right now on Cooper.
Proctor with a misfire. And a foul here against Duke as Jaden Zachary got knocked to the deck.
Tell you this, Corey, you and I saw Cooper in high school, and we both were in awe up there in the city of Palms in Fort Myers. I couldn't believe what I was watching. He does it all. He really is. All I can simply say one word to describe him. Wow.
Well, I can tell you right now, I know Cooper very well, and he is just as excited to have you over here calling his game as he is to have an opportunity to play here in this hostile environment.
Shefflin with a touch up against Cooper Flagg, backing his way into the paint. Got the pass away. Nice give there for Lakhin.
They need that size in the game. They need that size. They lost to South Carolina in overtime. He also played 15 minutes.
Got to keep him in the game at all costs. Proctor jumping in the paint. Back out for Knipple and got it from three-point land.
He's been unbelievable. Came from Wisconsin, played at Wisconsin Lutheran. They were 30-0. Whole family, mother, everybody plays basketball. He's supposed to have really some great brothers, too.
Absolutely. Coach, how about the freshmen already responding on the road? They've been tested, one of three teams in America that are undefeated in road play this year.
Yeah, along with, I believe, Texas Tech and Houston.
Yes.
And the three of them have not lost a game.
Yeah, perfect 7-0 for the Duke Blue Devils. Shot clock is down to 3. In the paint, Lakhin and a whistle with 2.7 on the shot clock. And there is Brad Brownell in year number 15. 283 wins for Clemson, number one in their program history. Their winningest coach, and he signed a contract extension through 2029.
Well, I talked to him before it again. He says, Dick, you have to bring that up. I said, gee, Coach, I look at your 5 losses. You lost 3 in overtime. Think of where you would be with a little luck. He said, thanks for reminding me.
I thought everyone was delighted you were back.
Dickie B, if anyone else did that, we'd get kicked out of his office. You're the only one that can bring that up.
That's for sure. Zachary airborne for the jumper and knocks it down.
They need to win here tonight. Zachary has to have a big game. He did not have a big game against Georgia Tech. Struggled. He's very physical. He has good ability to score, and he can also great defensively.
Knipple 37% beyond the three. Gives it up for Proctor, and he'll call a play. Malawach. Duke, an amazing passing team, and that's going to rattle in by Knipple.
I tell you what a year he has had. You know, we talk about certainly, and it's deserved, we talk about Cooper, but what a year this kid Knipple's had.
Close calls, have been a bunch of them here for the Clemson Tigers as they strike underneath. 4 overtimes, Dick, and they have lost 3 of those. What a difference that would make just to pick off a couple of those.
Absolutely, it's unreal.
They come in at 10-2 in the conference. Proctor to make a move, and that'll go the other way. That'll go against Duke. Blue Devils off to a 12-8.
Yeah, Mr. Shire.
Well, he was talking to us earlier today about the first time he realized he was completely legit. High school senior at home in Illinois on the couch watching a college basketball game that you were doing. You called him a diaper dandy. He said, that's when I knew I was for real. He told us that today.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He was for real. So is the guy next to me, Corey Alexander.
Hey, my story is very similar.
Locking in. He's got 4.
He looks pretty good in that post.
Yeah.
He really does, and we can see how Clemson wants to attack Duke in the post, especially with the young bigs in Cooper Flagg and Malawach. They want to force those guys to have to defend them on the interior.
Foul off the ball here. By the way, Flagg has not even attempted a shot. And that foul will be on Wiggins of Clemson, Chauncey Wiggins, his first.
He's a little bit under the weather, they say.
He has got a little bit of the flu. And
yeah.
Boy, a lot of the teams, Dick, that we're covering these days, it's going around. They've got 3-4 guys who are sick. John Shire missed a game because he was really sick with the flu earlier this season.
They miss Gillis right now because he can shoot the ball. He's out with the flu.
That's correct. Mason Gillis out sick. Shot clock down to 8. Knipple on the drive, off the fake, and it won't roll in. The tip is controlled by Shepard. And taken right back by Duke. Flagg had Hunter on his hip. He gives it up for Knipple to the baseline. What a nice pass. And up and in for 2 by Malik Brown.
Tell you, Corey, they do an amazing job sharing the basketball, always looking for the open guy. They seem to love playing with each other.
They really do, Coach. And when you consider they average 17 assists per game, you got a number of guys who can make plays off the bounce and make plays for their teammates as well.
Chase Hunter trying to get going, coming in, averaging 18, and he'll hit it and draw the foul.
That's a big 3, baby. They needed that. They could have used one of those against Georgia Tech late in the game. He had 28, but didn't come through near the end of the game, but he certainly kept them in the game.
And Chase Hunter going to the mid-range, and probably even more to the delight of this Little John crowd, picking up the first foul on Cooper Flagg, defending that. But Chase Hunter now in his 6th year here in Clemson, looking for a statement win. In his, we call this a super senior year?
Hey, I'll tell you this, though. The kid's a winner. He right now rates #1 in the history of Clemson basketball as the winningest player. He's won over 101 games as a player.
And as we mentioned, his 6th year, he did sit out completely 1 year. So he did not have 32 opportunities that year.
Knipple out of the double. Trying to get it downstairs, intended for Brown, but it never got there. Zachary gives it up for Hunter. Hunter 28 against Georgia Tech earlier this week. He's tied up in the play, and a possession arrow will take it to the other end. So 14:04 to go here in the first half, and Duke will have the ball up by 2.
Tell you one thing, people got to remember this. They last year lost by 1, a real heartbreaking loss at Duke. And they beat him here, but he played me 2 years ago at home. So Clemson has been tough against Duke.
And Clemson's extremely tough in this building. Beat Kentucky earlier this year, a top 5 win, and they're looking for another one here tonight.
Knipple saw the opening, went in strong for the bucket.
Tell you what, Corey, I watch his ability. He can beat you with the three. He can beat you on the drive, and he plays with such competitive desire.
He absolutely does, Coach. And when you consider you couple that shooting alongside a playmaker like Cooper Flagg, you've got a dynamic duo of diaper dandies on the outside.
Well, let me tell you this. Cooper Flagg is more than a diaper dandy. He's a PTBer, solid gold, baby, like you were in Virginia.
Well, thank you very much. This is the ACC on ESPN. We're inside Little John Coliseum to see the Clemson Tigers try to snap number 2 Duke's 16-game winning streak. Great to have you with us on an ESPN Sonic blockbuster. And none other than Dick Vitale right with us courtside. Dave O'Brien and Corey Alexander. I can't tell you how great that feels to say that out loud, that Dickie V is back after 2 years, and you sound like you were never away.
Well, I appreciate that, Dave. That's why you're one of my favorite baseball guys as well with the Red Sox.
Hunter with a miss. Chase Hunter averaging 18 a game, leading the way for the Tigers. It's Duke on top, 16-12. A packed house here. Not a seat to be had. Cooper Flagg spinning inside for his first basket.
Shows his versatility. It's the first shot he's taken in the game. His first score. He's so unselfish. He's all about winning and the team. He can get, to me, if he wanted to be selfish, he'd get 30 every night.
He absolutely would. And Dick Vitale, we talk about how cerebral Cooper Flagg is. He waited until we got on ESPN before he took a shot. He didn't want to get a bucket on news. He wanted to get over here on the flagship.
Now I know why you went to Virginia. You're a smart dude, man. He's smart, this guy.
Our Sonic blockbuster underway. Tyrese Proctor with a drive for 2. Bouncing it downstairs for Shefflin, the 6'8 senior. That is a big body. He's tough to move.
But what we've seen throughout this game, Clemson's doing it in the paint with 2s. Duke is doing it on the perimeter with 3s. That's the reason why they've been able to build a 6-point lead.
I'll tell you one thing, Shefflin, he is a tough, hard-nosed player. He plays with a tremendous amount of energy all the time.
Flagg dumping it downstairs, knocked away. The quick hands of Hydebreeder, and he got in there and knocked it free.
He can shoot the ball. He can shoot the ball. If he gets open looks, he certainly can shoot the 3.
Yeah, he's 46% and knocked away and scooped up by Proctor. That's going to be 5 early turnovers here for Clemson. And it's going to be an and 1 as Proctor continues to be very active. He's really been the go-to man early.
He really has.
You know, he had that week, January 7. And Corey, you and I had that sensational dunk he had against Pitt the very same week where he scored 42 against Notre Dame. So he had just recently turned 18 years old, and then he just exploded that particular week, didn't he?
He absolutely has. And once he turned 18, he's been a completely different player. After Christmas, got home, got in the gym with his father, able to get some shots up, built that confidence, and coming back with the jumper renewed, he's been a different guy since turning 18.
Del Jones, freshman, taking the baseline. Got that pass free to Zachary with a shot clock starting to wind down. He'll hit it. Zachary, one of the top ball hawkers in the ACC.
You got to have your A game. If you don't have your A game against Duke, you got no chance. No chance. Because they excel defensively. They're in every game because their team defense keeps them in the game. And when their offense is clicking, it's lights out.
I think Duke is playing to be the #1 team in the country tonight as Flagg misses in close because Auburn has lost to Florida. That's a final.
And if Duke is able to get a win and move to #1, they're going to have to match the physicality of the Clemson Tigers. You've got a veteran group. They want to be physical with Cooper Flagg. They've seen other teams try to do it and take him out of the game early, trying to do it. But again, very few have been successful in limiting his action.
It has not stopped him at all. He's top in 4 different categories in the ACC. Whether he's scoring, rebounding, he's in the top 10 in 4 major categories.
Dylan Hunter got a lot of iron, but that shot goes down. 23-18 as Clemson continues to hang tough, getting to the midway point of the first half.
Clemson actually playing well. Clemson is playing well.
They really are. Coach, they're playing great. They're 9 of 12 from the field. The problem is they have 5 turnovers. Started the game out with 2 straight back-to-back turnovers.
Proctor tied up, and the possession arrow will go to the other end. 9:50 to go in the half. Give you a look at our Sonic Blockbuster comparison.
We're talking about 2 guys, one an 18-year-old freshman, another a 23, 24-year-old, 6-year senior. When you look at what Chase Hunter and Cooper Flagg are doing, but both most likely first-team All-ACC performers, Coach.
And no question. I'll tell you this, with Cooper Flagg, he turned 18 December 21st. This kid should be in high school. Can you imagine him playing high school?
Clemson's starting to heat up, and they've made 4 straight shots.
He's played well for them. Viktor has been King Viktor tonight. He's been King Viktor tonight.
7-footer from Russia, who actually wants to be a stand-up comic maybe when he's done playing basketball.
Viktor Lakhin?
He would not give us any of his best material. He said, we're playing Duke today. Forget about it, but maybe one day. A foul here with 9:17 to go in the half. And Lakhin will pick up.
Times he's facilitating. He's doing it on the defensive end of the floor. You've seen them all. Who's similar to Cooper?
But let me just say this. I already told our producer, Kim Belton, knows basketball. There's only 3 players in my 45 years that I've seen in person that match the skills that he has at that such a young age. And I'm not saying that he's going to be one of these 3, but I'm talking about who I've seen in person. I've seen in person Kobe Bryant. I did one of his games. I seen in person LeBron James did his first game he's played, and I lost the battle. I saw Magic Johnson, I don't know how many times trying to recruit him, but I had no shot. To me, I say he really, when you look at the future holds, I'm talking about at 18.
Evans up top for Knipple. Duke on top by 5. Knipple really active in this opening half, especially dishing the basketball, and a whistle as he got it inside to the big Malawach.
We haven't mentioned his name at all. Malawach is unbelievable potential. He's only played basketball for 4 years. He's a rim protector. He has so much enthusiasm when he plays defense. I watch him hedge, step out. It's like you can't believe the way he comes out with that unbelievable spirit and energy. He has got a great, great future.
At the line to shoot at 77%. And coming up at 8:30 on ESPN, 3rd-ranked Alabama in Fayetteville squaring off against Arkansas. We capped the night with number 20 Arizona hosting number 13 Texas Tech in our West Coast primetime game at 10:30.
Texas Tech on the road, one of 3 unbeaten teams in road games this year, alongside our Duke Blue Devils, as well as the Houston Cougars, led by Coach Kelvin Sampson.
The 2 best teams I've seen this year, watching a lot of basketball sitting home, defensively, are Houston, Kelvin Sampson's team, and Duke. I really think they're the 2 best defensive teams I've seen all year.
Duke, by the way, with that field goal in about 3 minutes. Zachary, who played at Boston College first. Shot won't drop for Reeves. He's 7'2".
He's a Duke kid. He was at Duke. He had 7 rebounds the other night in limited time. Doesn't have a lot of minutes.
James with a kick out, another long one. Knocked down by Proctor, who has been outstanding in the first half.
Yeah, he's been also really good all year. He went through a little of a slide for a while in the middle of the year, but he started off the year, he was brilliant. He's made the rotation, and you were a combo guard at Virginia, so you know the feeling. Last year he was like a point guard. Now he's playing the 2 spot.
He's absolutely playing great basketball.
So difficult, Dave. It is the kind of treatment I've been getting from all the people. It just tears my heart.
Well, you're home, man. You're home again. This is where you belong, right here. On the drive, off the window, and a very strong move there by Del Jones. They really like the freshman.
They really do, and his ability to get downhill, attacking the basket, but more importantly, finishing over length and size in the painted area.
That was a nice athletic play by him. He really made a strong drive to the basket.
Knipple will fire one up there, and that misses.
No whistle?
No whistle. Nope.
No whistle. He should be on the free throw line. Wow. Coach K was on that sideline. That official would hear about it. I guarantee you. I know Coach K and his beautiful wife, Mickey's watching. He sent me a text today. Appreciate your text, Coach. But I know one thing. He wouldn't tolerate that. Corey, he'd be up like you can't believe.
Now, believe me, the 2 years you've been away, they're still calling fouls. We have had a couple of nights where there have been like 80 foul shots taken.
Dickie V, there's word on the street that you lost a recruiting battle to Coach K with your granddaughters. Is that not? That's correct, isn't it?
Yep. I was trying to recruit my grandkids to go to Notre Dame for tennis. They're twins, Connor and Jake, and they're at Duke. They went on a visit to Duke, and Coach K, in a half-an-hour conversation, I've been trying to recruit the kids from Notre Dame for 3 years.
Lakhin with 8, Flagg, and a whistle, and a travel. So Duke turns it over. It's been kind of a rough first half here for Cooper Flagg. And they've turned it over 5 times. Duke against Syracuse this week turned it over 6 times in 40 minutes.
Well, Syracuse going through a real struggle right now.
Sure are. And Duke was clinical in taking them apart. 6:20 to go in the half here at Clemson. Poked away. And Lakhin with a reach and a foul, trying to slow up the fast break there. So he'll pick up the personal.
And that's going to be 2 on Viktor Lakhin. And that's one of the things you talked about, Coach. That's a play that he has to understand, just to give up on that play, get back and play defense, not pick up that second foul because he's too valuable to his team, needs to stay on the floor.
Well, you're right about that, Corey. His size is so needed. They're not a big team. They need him on the floor. The bench really doesn't have the kind of size and ready to play. I think eventually he'll get some minutes out of Reeves, but they feel he's a little limited now offensively.
Duke with a 16-game winning streak, longest in the nation. Their longest since they ripped off 17 in a row in 05-06. Knippel. Brown will swing it for James, who can hit that three-pointer. Flagg. A lot of contact to round it out. The tip won't drop by James. Hunter with a crossover, lays it in. What a beautiful drive.
Very rarely do you see that against Duke. He went to the lane, nobody rotated over.
Radiation therapies, chemotherapies, multiple surgeries, and did not speak for 8 months. I know Lorraine loved that, but nobody else did.
She got finally a word in.
Here's Proctor's had a big half with 11. Flagg rolling, draws the double. Knippel's the open shooter and knocks it down to 3.
He is so good offensively. I'll tell you one thing. Knippel is the real deal, man. He really came on strong and impressed everybody during the summer when they had their workouts. They knew he was good, but they didn't know he was that good.
Looking for an answer, and Jones does from three-point land.
The first three-point field goal made for the Clemson Tigers. They come in averaging over 9 a game and shoot over 38%. And now 1 of 3, while the Blue Devils are 5 of 7. It's been a weapon for Duke in this game.
Tell you one thing, they're not intimidated by Duke. They feel look at that hustle. Look at that hustle. That's unbelievable. Double Sweetie should get that guy on the football field.
Flagg will pull up and pop. And continues to have a frustrating half. He's 1 for 4.
So Ron Gruber is going to go over, and they're going to look
about toughness. I mean, unreal. Watch this here. Look at that. Look at that heart. Look at that there. Hustle, scrapping. Do they want it? I will tell you this. They're not intimidated because they know they felt they should have beaten Duke last year at Cameron. It was the last second. I think Proctor made 2 foul shots and beat them by 1. And they beat them here 2 years ago. So that's a veteran team.
Right now what they're looking at, Dickie V, after the slide for the loose ball, watch Knippel, and does he trip James Zachary? This is what they're going over to review right now. Ron Gruber looking for the replay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's to see if we're going to have a flagrant foul on that possession. Ron Gruber did a great job of allowing the possession to go on, but he knew once the dead ball happened, he was going to go over and look at it. and he signaled that as soon as they got to stop and play.
Yeah, there was no common foul called on the play. They're at the monitor.
I think they're going to go. If I have to say it, I got one eye, not two like you guys. I think it's flagrant one.
I believe so. I think you have to call a flagrant one on this one.
I really do.
And Ron heading over there to John Shire. And they are going to call it a flagrant one, so 2 shots on the ball.
And yeah, they're going to go flip. We know he's one of the best in the league when it comes to getting his hand on basketball, coming up with steals, and providing that defensive energy to give his team a boost here. As you look at the run that Clemson is on right now, a 9-3 run in the Tigers' favor.
Came from Boston College.
Excellent foul shooter, 86%.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Corey. What are your feelings about the transfer portal and the NIL?
I think that the NIL is great, and I'm indifferent with the transfer portal, but the combination of the two at the same time has been detrimental to college basketball. I believe we got to find a way to figure out a better balance of being able to have the two a part of our game.
Shot clock at 5.
Fair analysis.
Hunter got it off. Shefflin with a touch. Shot clock expiring. And never did get it off in time, so turned over to Duke. So a 2-point game starts your Super Bowl Sunday with 3 great women's basketball matchups. Stanford, Louisville, they're at noon on ESPN2. And number 2, South Carolina, number 4, Texas. And at 4 o'clock Eastern, number 6, LSU hosting number 19, Tennessee. Coming off a big win. That one banked in by James.
Yeah, that big win over Connecticut. Very rare. Lately, that used to be such a battle. Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma.
First time I've ever entered a building for a shoot-around and got booed because the Tiger fans are ready to roar. But he said, I knew I was legit the moment Dickie V said on TV when I was a high school senior that I am a diaper dandy. He said that he was 8 feet tall by that point.
He became an absolute superstar PTPer. He was tremendous.
Proctor
to the national title.
knocks down another one.
He's having a heck of a day.
Yeah, 13.
He really is, and it's important for him to have games like this, especially on the road. Did the same thing at Boston College, Obi, when we watched them there. In a hostile environment, Cooper Flagg coming as close as he can to home, and Tyrese Proctor showed up big time for them on that one as well.
Whole state of Maine was there at Boston College to see Cooper Flagg, the 6'9" freshman from Newport, Maine. 3:22 to go.
You look at Duke's bench is so deep when they can go to that bench. And kids like Foster, I thought Foster was going to be a super this year because he was really good last year, but he lost the starting job. But he's still on that bench. I mean, they got guys like him. They got guys on that bench. I mean, the transfer portal guys. Well, they don't have Gillis here today. But Brown from Syracuse, a dynamite defensive player. I mean, they're a deep team.
They really are a deep team and the tallest team in America and the most talented team in America. With Auburn going down today at home to Florida at 90-81, Duke with an opportunity now to be the #1 team if they're able to pull off a win in this hostile environment.
And until today, they were the only team, Dickie, that had beaten Auburn. Of course, they beat them at Cameron Indoor. That was their one loss until today. And off the back of the iron, Reeves with a big board. He hits the deck and a whistle.
Brad was telling me before the game, you alluded to, concerned about Duke's size, one of the biggest teams in college basketball. But really what impresses me about Duke, Ken Palmer does a great job with his ratings. Duke is the only team in America, the only team, that is ranked in the top 4 offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency.
And I believe what sets them apart is what they do defensively. The size, we talk about the length as Caleb Foster enters the game. At 6'5", Caleb Foster is the shortest player that they play in their rotation. And when you consider they can switch everything, if they force you to throw it inside to a mismatch, the worst thing that can happen is if you give up a tough 2. They'll live with that in comparison to giving up 3.
The only guy they probably can't switch would be the big guy, Malowatch.
Oh, he does a great job switching.
But he steps out.
They don't switch much with Patrick Gumba, but outside of that, they will switch with Malowatch as well.
Mason Gillis out of the lineup today.
This guy's having a heck of a night.
Proctor again.
Oh, the veteran player stepping up big, man. stepping up. He just looks great shooting the ball.
And for the record, I got to give you a shout-out for pronouncing Malawach correctly in Game 1. It took most of us a half a season to be able to get that right, Dickie V.
Please don't tell him that. He'll be insufferable, please. 2:45 to go before the break.
Got a mismatch inside. You got to get the ball to Shefflin. Got to get the ball to Shefflin.
Chase Hunter short. Reeves gathers the rebound. He's a big body under there and draws another foul.
John Shire told me before the game, he said that the kid Reeves, who's formerly at Duke, he said today's climate, kids don't want to wait. Kids don't want to wait. They want to play. So as soon as you're sitting on that pine, it is transfer, time to go.
But one of the things that John Shaw's done a tremendous job of is keeping in constant communication with his players throughout the season. It's almost a daily thing where they have to talk to each other to keep everyone confident with their opportunities.
Over on ACC Network, Wednesday's doubleheader starts with Stanford and Georgia Tech. That's at 7 Eastern time. And then Cooper Flagg and the Blue Devils hosting Cal at Cameron Indoor.
So I'll be at Cal Wednesday with your good friend and buddy, Jim Boeheim, on the call with us.
Jimmy B.
Got that. Clemson, a very good foul shooting team, 78% for the year. Keep that in mind if it's right down to the end here. 39-33 Duke.
Oh, man, they shoot over 81% in ACC play, so they've gotten better as the season's gone along.
Clemson forcing a turnover. Shefflin with a dribble down, gave up the dribble. Highbreeder, very dangerous beyond the three-point line.
Look at the mismatch inside. Reeves wants the ball.
Reeves out of the double, banks it in.
Yep. Great job. Great job by Clemson recognizing that. And also Reeves says, hey, Proctor, remember me? I used to play at Duke. This is for you, trying to guard me.
Let's see if Flagg gets heated up right before halftime. Proctor has been scalding hot for Duke.
Cooper has been very passive in this first half. He's been very passive.
Proctor again. That one off the front iron. Tigers with a chance to get a little bit closer. Chase Hunter, their top scorer, with it here.
Got the same mismatch, Dickie V. Caleb Foster trying to guard Christian Reeves on the post.
Zachary with a dribble.
He wants the ball. Reeves wants the ball. Throw it up, go up.
Shefflin's going to have to clear out to give him space to be able to operate.
And a whistle. That will go the other way with 6 on the shot clock at a minute 17.
Okay, so now whose fault is that? You were coaching way back in the 70s. That's the big guy's fault, or is that the guard's fault for leaving too early?
Well, I'm always going to go with the little guy.
I like the way you think.
I don't like the Goliaths all the time. I like the little Davids. Same when they pick these teams. You got a team like, for example, Drake. People better take a look at Drake. They better be in that field. If they don't win their conference championship, they belong in. But no, the big guys get 10 different chances to get in.
On the drive, he left it short. Foster had a couple of cracks at it. Under a minute here at Clemson. Stolen away by Cooper Flagg. And Flagg ahead of the field slams it with 2 hands.
I got a feeling he's going to break out in the second half.
We've seen that from him often throughout this year. The NC State game, he only had 5 first-half points 23. And then explodes for 23 in the second half. Yep. So Cooper normally saves his best.
What's the difference in the game right now?
It's really been the difference, and when you consider the way the Blue Devils have shot the 3, 6 for 10, where the Tigers only 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, that's been the separator for the Blue Devils.
That's been a big difference. Big difference. You don't have to go to Harvard to figure it out. When you make a difference in that situation, that's 5 more threes. That's 15 points.
Got a good look. That's his shot. Loose ball, and Duke gathering that, and they're going to take a timeout with 20.8.
John Shire really has a very consistent coach. They got beat for the national championship by Connecticut, Richard Hamilton.
Other than that, you don't remember much about it. It's amazing you recall. Here's Proctor's had a gigantic half. doubled up, knocked free from him. He's got to get a shot in the air, and it's not going to happen. That's how the first half ends, with Duke on top, 41-35.
Great defensive stand by the Clemson Tigers.
Cluster matchup here in Clemson, South Carolina. Sold out, not a seat to be had.
There's only been 3 teams that outscored Duke in the paint. Tonight, Clemson has done that.
Flagg on the attack right away, a misfire. And a whistle and a foul right on the edge of the lane in the opening seconds here. Proctor with 16, Knipple with 11. But Clemson, among the many things they've done well, they're shooting 68% in this game. 14
of 18 on 2-point attempts. 14 of 18. I mean, you go to common denominator, you put 2 in the 14, 7, 2 in the 18, you got 9. That's one heck of a percentage.
That goes back to you being a math teacher back in the day when you took your first high school coaching job.
Yeah,
you were coaching the math class as well. Me and I watched the 30 for 30.
Great fake. Oh, which by the way, I loved. Everybody loved that.
Absolutely.
The documentary, that was tremendous.
He really got some really tremendous release on a shot, Proctor. He gets great form, squares his body well, follow through, good rotation.
Losing his footing, that's Dylan Hunter. Trying to scoop that on the line. It'll be back over to the Tigers.
He'd like to have a turnover back that he had at the end of the game with Georgia Tech. He turned the ball over, and he very rarely turns the ball over. He's got a great assist-to-turnover ratio in the 90 games he's played. It is number 1 at Clemson, but they'd like to have that turnover back.
Love to have it back. Brad Brownell, of course, trusts Chase Hunter so much with the ball as we get to the end of the shot clock.
Zachary with the drive. He got the layup, but it wouldn't fall. And here's Cooper Flagg in the offensive zone after a very quiet first half. They were quite physical with number 2. And still are. A bump there off the window, no. Malawach with a little hook that won't drop. Big fight for the rebound, and Clemson comes away with that, Dylan Hunter.
But you can see right there, Dave, that Cooper is really much more assertive right now.
Shefflin to the paint. Draws a lot of blue shirts. Got it up there, no. And it's going to be tipped out off Duke.
I think this has been a very well officiated game when you consider how they're allowing guys to be physical, yet not continuing to blow the whistle, giving both guys a very consistent, both teams an opportunity to be able to play in the paint.
Well, really, that's great the way you're praising the officials. I like that. We hear too much criticism of those guys.
They didn't bring me a card before the game. They made sure they did that for you.
Since you've been away, Dick, he's really changed. He really has. I'm not sure it's for the better. Lakhin inside. Very well done for 2, and he has 10.
And as my research has been at home, Jeff, he says in the lane, they have been dynamite when you talk about Clemson.
Flagg thought about the triple.
Shefflin really played him tough.
He'll let it fly. No, he's not 2 for 8 shooting.
Well, he's 0 for 3 in the second half, but he's asserted himself, and I like seeing that. Oh, Brad Brownell is really fired up on that sideline.
Lakhin, body to body, up against Flagg, still working hard, and that's going to go down. Count that.
Great second effort. Great second effort. Look at the emotion. Look at the emotion. He says, Coach, I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play 15 minutes like I did against South Carolina, like I did against Georgia Tech. Games we lost in overtime because he only played 15 minutes. Foul trouble.
And then, of course, you see not only his ability to score through traffic, but to be able to go underneath the arm of the shot blocker. And Malawach locked in, is absolutely locked in here in this second half.
Boy, I like the way you demonstrated that next to me. You made like a big guy. So he used to dream. I wish I was a little bigger.
I think he did pretty well.
I used to dream that I got to play in front of Dickie V and him talking about me as a PT peer and talking about us being in prime time, baby.
Well, Lakhin with 13 and a 3-point game.
Nice play.
And a stuff by Proctor.
How about the execution by the Blue Devils? Every time Clemson gets the energy going here on their home floor, Duke responds with a bucket in the paint.
That's why you're number 2 in the nation, hoping to be number 1 leaving this building.
Proctor with 20. That ties his season high. Also did that at Boston College. Zachary in a kick.
Great execution, and when you see so much attention being paid to Con Knipple, no one thinking about Tyrese Proctor, who gets a great look on the interior with the dunk, and of course Isaiah Slim Evans just shushing the crowd.
Well, I tell you this, getting Jay Shaw moving without the ball, a lost art. Too many guys don't move well without the ball.
Lakhin going strong, lays it in again.
I'm saying, I watched the whole game against Georgia Tech, stayed up late. Where is he? Where was he? Where was he?
Well, he's here tonight in a big way for Clemson to make this a 3-point game with 16:45 remaining. Look at the big guy work.
And you can see an emphasis from Brad Brownell to get the basketball inside. They started the game off wanting to attack the young bigs for Duke, and Lakhin continues to attack the basket as Chauncey Wiggins responds, getting the crowd even more involved in the game.
I think they really got to him how important he is to them, and he came here with a mindset, I'm going to do what I can.
Flagg with the left hand, nothing falling for the Duke star, not much. He's had a rough go of it. They've got a body on him every minute. Chase Hunter. And a scrap for that and a whistle with 16:23 to go. Flagg held to 4 points, 2 for 9 shooting.
And we've seen the Clemson Tigers attempt to be physical with Cooper Flagg. They've contested every drive, just showing hands, making everything tough for him once he gets around the rim.
I'll tell you this. No matter who you are an outstanding player, but no matter who you are, talk about any great, Magic, Michael, any of those great players, Larry Bird, there are days sometimes you just have really a tough night. And that's what's happening right here with Cooper.
Flagg will grab the loose ball, and the foul be committed by Del Jones. Kind of a silly foul deep in the backcourt. And by the way, a little bit of foul trouble for one Duke player at this point. Sion James picked up his third a moment ago. Jones with number 1 for Clemson.
And you have to remember, no Mason Gillis in this game for Duke, who saved them in that win on the road at Wake Forest. He stepped up with 3 big threes late in that game.
Yes.
So some of that experience not available for the Blue Devils here today.
Yeah, he's out sick. Did not travel for this one. Brown gives it up for Flagg. Proctor, a 20-point game so far. Bounce feed for James, and he'll draw the foul by Chauncey Wiggins.
Nice pass by Proctor. Looked like he's headed for a turnover, but he kept with the ball and made a nice pass.
Yes, and had 12 steals in the game. This is a different matter here at Clemson tonight. That one knocked down by James, who makes 79%.
Tell you, Josh Shire told me before the game that he's been a different maker. Not so much scoring points, distributing the basketball, defensively, doing all the things physical. James has been a great, great pickup. Came from Tulane, I believe, right?
He really has, and when you consider his leadership ability and such a strong guard, he allows Duke to be able to switch 1 through 5, because if you have him on a post player, he can hold his ground in there, makes Duke so versatile.
Yeah, he can, because he's so strong physically. He can play a number of people. The star of stars thus far in the game has to be certainly Proctor. Proctor's been a difference maker.
Cooper Flagg just picked up his second. Zachary handing off for Lakhin. Zachary. They want Lakhin to touch it every time down. Shot clock a factor. It's at 6. Another bucket for the big guy.
He took right there, Cooper, defensively. He took him one-on-one. He was determined to score. He has been absolutely sensational today. I gotta believe this is one of his best games.
Why it's so important for him to stay on the floor. As we've got another foul, I believe they're going to get Jaden Zachary.
Yeah, knocking James down here with 15:03 to go. He is slow to rise.
I got a question. Now, right here, he's trying to take him one-on-one. He wants to take him one-on-one. He goes, and he did. You really got to give the kids, got to tip the hat to him. My question is this. If Duke, it's a word that's so big, but if Duke's winning streak of 16 comes to an end tonight, who's number one in the country? Auburn got beat. They get beat at 2. Who's number one?
To be completely honest, being that Florida is ranked number 6 in the country, I'm not sure that Auburn comes off the number 1 spot. It could still be the Auburn Tigers, simply because I'm not sure who's at 3 right now.
Jones got an open look. That won't drop. And Knipple with the rebound.
But we're certain that Duke and Auburn have been the best 2 teams in the country all season long. So with the winning streaks, if they do come to an end, still have an opportunity to stay in the top.
I think Knipple has a different theory at this point.
I think he's thinking number 1, OB.
As he drills a long 3.
I think Duke's basically saying, don't even ask that question. This is not going to be really a factor at all. I think Knipple, can he shoot the ball or what? Squares his body, plays hard.
But Dickie V, how about the fact that Cooper Flagg isn't having a great game, but yet the Blue Devils still with a 3-point lead here on the road in a hostile environment? That speaks to the testament of how good this Duke team is overall.
There's no question Duke has more than just Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is unique. He's a special talent. He's heading for greatness in the NBA. But all these other guys were big-time players out of high school. They were not just some Johnny-come-lately. They were players.
Lakhin will knock that out of play, so it'll be Duke basketball. And Patrick Gungba, the 6'11 freshman, will come onto the floor now for John Shire.
You know, I really believe this. I think to have super success, there's a formula I believe in. It starts with talent, plus coaching, plus incredible desire to play both defense and execute offensively. You do that, you're going to win. And then that's why they win. John Shire's done a great job as a coach.
Brown with a miss and another whistle in the paint. So look at that AP top 10. As mentioned, Auburn was beaten earlier today by number 6 Florida. So they record their 2nd loss of the year. Duke had been the only team to beat them so far this season at Cameron Indoor. That's right after Auburn won at Maui.
And Alabama at 3 with a matchup tonight that we could see them possibly, if, as you mentioned the big word, if Duke is unable to get a win here on the road, could possibly be that number 1 team.
You know, Tennessee had a big win today. And Tennessee's been really playing well lately, so they can make a case for them. It's going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be a factor until we get down. As, you know, Duke's up right now, 3, still 13 minutes to go.
Now Knipple in some foul trouble now with 3. Flagg about to come back on the floor now. He's 2 for 10. Shot clock all the way down to 3.4 before the tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it here on this end of the floor. And here comes Cooper Flagg.
See why I hate that rule? Walton, they've been a great defensive play, and they get penalized. You have some stupid rule. You look at an arrow. Does the arrow dive on the floor? Did the arrow make the play? The arrow did nothing, and the arrow wins. That's ridiculous.
Your passion has not dimmed, my man.
Welcome back,
There's the arrow that did absolutely nothing.
The arrow actually did change size. We'll give the arrow that credit from going from right to left.
13-16 left.
Guys, I want to just say this, really. I'm having a blast being both of you. You really treated me so well here today. And it's more than I ever expected, really.
It is so great to have you back and to hear the sound of your voice and to hear you in such good voice as well. Your passion is always there. It always has. We love this game so much. This is where you belong. And for us, it is such an honor. I got to tell you.
It's not just an honor, Dickie V, but we get to do this because of you.
Shuffling.
You started this, my man, and you are the reason we get to be here celebrating Ian Shepard knocking down a huge 3 to tie this game at Little John.
This Clemson team doesn't look like they're going away.
Cross court, here's Proctor now. This is the first time this game has been tied. 5 to get off a shot. Short with that. Rebound tip controlled by Shefflin.
He's one tough kid. That kid Shefflin can play for me any day of the week. He plays with a lot of heart, a lot of energy.
Chase Hunter driving, lays it in.
Oh, baby. Oh, the Clemson fans are going wild. Is Damo in the house? Where's Damo? Is he in the house cheering?
Clemson with their first lead of the game.
Cooper wants the ball. Cooper wants the ball. He got fouled. He got pounded. He's bleeding.
Guys checking for blood on the lip.
Ian Shefflin, confident, stepping up, knocking down a huge 3-ball. And once they win over the Blue Devils, the last time he will play them here, trying to get
Oh, what a shot right there.
Post area, takes a shot from Chase Hunter. But one thing I can tell you, Dickie V, and you've seen it as well, the more physical you get with the Cooper Flagg, the more he responds. Now he's seeing his own blood. Look out, Clemson Tigers.
Knipple slams on the brakes, little fall away. No.
They're doing a good job rebounding tonight. We heard about Clemson. They got out-rebounded their last game in that triple overtime loss. 24 offensive rebounds by Georgia Tech. Stoudemire's kids, by the way, did a great job. They beat Louisville that week, and they beat Clemson.
Shot clock at 5. And tipped out of play by Malik Brown at 4.4 on the shot clock. We'll take the timeout as well. The Clemson Tigers.
And it's a big, big ACC game. It's still a big game. But the point being, I thought they'd be down. I think Duke would have pounded, especially the way Duke started the first 4 minutes here. But the bottom line is you got to tip the hat and salute the Clemson Tigers for the way they've battled the battle.
Tigers with 4.4 on the shot clock out of the timeout. Flagg interrupts the pass. And out it rolls, and the shot clock continued to run. So I think that's why Ron Groover is about to head over to that monitor. It went down to 1.6.
And Brad Brownell right on top of it, pointing to the shot clock. See, makes eye contact with Ron Groover, making sure that they go check that out and get it correct.
You know, it's my first game back, and I want to be a nice guy. But watching games at home, I became so frustrated watching a number of times go into that monitor. And it's not the referee's fault, not at all. They're only going by what the book says, what you got to do. The people that make the rules got to sit down and make a little adjustment in the number of times you can go to that monitor.
They're going to reset both the game clock and the shot clock. Shot clock at 3. And the Tigers still with the basketball. Second half, Clemson has outscored Duke 16-8. Viktor Lakhin by himself has outscored the Duke Blue Devils 9-8. And so the Tigers to put it in right in front of their own bench.
You know, some of the players like it because you get a little break, a little like a timeout. But, you know, down deep it breaks up the flow of the game.
Got that off, but it never got to the iron. The shot by Chase Hunter.
He has really not had a big game. He's only got 6 points, and he's a big-time scorer. He's got to step up now late in this game. If you want to finish the deal and get that win, your stars have to elevate their game.
James on the drive, went for the dunk, he didn't get it. And a whistle will go the other way.
And OB, as much as we've seen Duke this year, especially on the road, in moments like this is normally where they respond. Sion James attacking the basket strong, unable to get the finish to go down, and Malik Brown with a great idea to throw it to Cooper Flagg. However, unable to execute it and giving the basketball back to Clemson with an opportunity to increase their lead.
And it's normally where Cooper Flagg really steps up in these kind of moments and takes over a game.
Targeted again, but not this time.
He did it against NC State. They were on the ropes. He had a great second half against Notre Dame. They had really struggled in that game. He goes from 42. Still 10 minutes to go.
Zachary.
Don't count him out. Hey, that's big. That's big. Are we going to have upset city? Are we going to have upset city? They were only a 6-point underdog, by the way. They were only a 6-point underdog. This is a good Clemson team.
Yes.
This is a good Clemson team.
Do a lot of things well. They've done a bunch of them today. Here's James with a shot. That three won't fall. And another thing the Tigers have, momentum.
Yeah, they got Uncle Mo. You're right, Dave. You're right. They got Uncle Mo on their side. They got a great crowd, too.
Students have been terrific today. And a whistle. 10:06 to go. Duke has gone about 4.5 minutes without a point.
And the one thing that Duke has to always face, and you as an athlete, you got to know this, Corey. You played 7 years in the NBA, All-American in Virginia. As an athlete, you have to understand, and the Duke players have to understand, they get everybody's best hit. Everybody plays at a higher level than normal when they see the Duke jersey.
Absolutely. It means more when you see Duke on the front of the jersey, and it means even more when you've got Dickie V on his return back in the building, and we're seeing the Tigers' best effort because of that.
Dylan Hunter with a miss, but a foul on the deck.
You're trying to be nice to me. They can care less. I'm sitting at courtside.
Dickie V, I can tell you right now, you talked about me being a former athlete. As we see, this is a game of inches. Malik Brown almost got his hand on that basketball, but it ends up being a Jay-Z bucket. Look how close it is. That's almost a deflection. Instead, it turns into a three for Jay-Z and allows Clemson to build a 5-point game. But you gave me the credit for being a former athlete. I'm telling you now, it matters to these young men that you are sitting here today. They grew up watching you call this game and are looking forward to their first chance of being able to play in front of you.
Can you be an agent? I want you to call Mr. Pitaro of ESPN and get me a new deal.
By the way, Knipple to the bench, his 4th foul for Duke. Shepler with a little reverse underneath. It's tipped up and in. Big Mo indeed is wearing orange right now.
He's tenacious.
5 minutes without a point.
We talked about it earlier. Only 3 teams in the country undefeated on the road. Texas Tech and Houston as well.
Evans catches, fires, but he's on the line. And they turn it over.
Coach Vitale, you told me in the timeout, Duke needs some shooting. Get Evans into the game. Josh Shire must have heard you, or you guys are thinking along the same lines. Great action to get Evans a look. However, stepping on the out-of-bounds line, a turnover for the Blue Devils, and now the Tigers with the opportunity to boost their lead.
Tell you one thing, the kid Evans can shoot the ball. He can shoot the ball. Yep. Oh, nice cut without the ball. Oh, you gotta make that. You gotta make that.
He's made
that
everything
was
else.
Killer.
Yeah, he's made everything else.
Oh, you gotta put that baby down, wide open. Our producer would have made that, Kim Belton, with a bad leg. He was a great player. Now he's a tackler in football.
Flagg with the give, now the kick out. Here's Evans on the other side, and he'll swish it in.
5-point swing, Dickie V. You miss a layup on one end of the floor. It turns out to be a 3 on the other end. Just like that's a 4-point game. Big swing. Let's see if that gets Duke's momentum going back in their favor.
Lakhin thought about it. He does have the green light from 3. A big scramble for it. And River right on top
Evans
of that.
can really shoot the throw. Evans can shoot the basketball. And if you don't believe me, and you see Evans right there, go to the Auburn game. They do not beat Auburn in the first half. They're on the ropes. And Bruce Pearl's kids didn't guard him like they should have. He knocked down 6 3-point shots in the half. Evans, that was worth why they're number 1, or they wouldn't win that game.
He had 10 points for the Blue Devils on the road at Syracuse as Lakhin checks out of the game. But Isaiah Evans is extremely confident. And one thing for certain, he is going to let it fly. He is in the game to put points on the board. And you can see now he has got his momentum going in his favor individually and looking to get the Blue Devils right back into this game.
Well, the 10 really, Corey, against Syracuse was a blowout game. These last 2 baskets were big, were needed. They really stopped that run by Clemson. Unbelievable.
56-52 Clemson and the basketball.
Cooper Flagg, second half, just looked it up. He's 0 for 6. You just wait for him to break out. He normally relishes these kind of moments.
Jones around the back, gets a shot away. Evans went for the rebound, taken away by Chase Hunter.
That missed dunk could be big in this game.
Could be.
That was a big-time momentum builder.
Hunter tiptoeing in. Off for Reeves. Flagg wrestled it free. And that's a turnover on the carry.
There's no call right there. These refs have done a hell of a job. They really have.
But I love John Shire after the turnover, immediately sticking out his hand, giving Tyrese Proctor a quick 5, letting him know it's okay, because he loves the effort that his team is playing with on the defensive end of the floor. Cooper Flagg coming up with the steal, Proctor with the turnover, but a dead ball turnover does not allow Clemson the opportunity to score.
You know your basketball.
Hey, listen, I grew up watching you talk about basketball. Since 1979, I've learned a thing or two from you, my man.
I'm making you my PR agent.
Cooper Flagg just 2 for 11. Zachary with a pull-up. And around and out, Flagg with a board.
It's too much of a line drive. You're going to get more of an arc on that shot.
Under 8 minutes to go.
And right now, Cooper's got to make a play. He's got to make a play. We give them such a big lift.
He won't shoot it. Evans will, and that one clangs away. A big scrap for it again in the corner.
See, that's the danger. That was not a good shot. He was being pressured big time. You got to understand shot selection. More than a +7 rebound against Duke. Kansas was a +6 against them. Right now, Clemson is +11 on the boards against them.
And the similarity between Kansas and Clemson, the physicality that they brought to the game.
Hunter with the pass in the paint and a whistle. And coming up at 8:30 on ESPN, third-ranked Alabama in Fayetteville squaring off against Arkansas. Don't you think Alabama is watching this one very closely? And we cap the night, number 20, Arizona hosting number 13, Texas Tech. That's our West Coast game.
Might feel if Alabama goes and beats Arkansas right now, won 2 great games, beat Kentucky and they beat Texas on the road. My feeling is if Alabama wins that game and Duke loses, Alabama deserves #1 because the SEC is so tough, Corey. That conference, every game is unbelievable with the talent of that league.
It absolutely is. And talked with Bruce Pearl last week. Obi and I had Auburn and Ole Miss. Even then, he was talking about beating Alabama. That big rivalry matchup coming up soon. So those two teams will play each other twice this year. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. If Duke does lose this game, and Alabama's able to win on the road at Arkansas after the week they had, I think they should be the #1 team in the country.
I knew that you'd listen to me.
I've been listening to you for a long time, my man.
Cooper Flagg, by the way, 3 fouls. Shefflin at the line, 76%. And we repeat, despite that miss, Clemson excellent at the line.
Lakhin kept that ball alive, tipping ball out. He's got to get going. He's got to score.
Chase Hunter with a misfire.
But thought it was another offensive rebound. However, Del Jones will pick up the foul. 2 hands in the back. But you talked about Chase Hunter shooting 43% from 3 in ACC. He's the leading 3-point shooter in ACC basketball right now, but unable to get going. 0 for from beyond the arc here this evening.
Over the top. Malawach with a catch. Can't lay it in. Fights for his own miss and draws a foul. And all of a sudden, lots of whistles here the last 4 or 5 minutes.
A lot of physical play going on court. Really a lot of physicality. Malawach is going to be one heck of a player. He's in a learning stage. Now, you look at him, he's not ready for the NBA, but he's going to go because the dollars are going to be unbelievable. A draft based on potential. You can't blame the kid, but I'm telling you, he has so much ahead of him in terms of learning. He's got a pretty good stroke right there. You watch him on the free throw line, pretty good stroke.
77%.
Coach, he reminds me of a guy that I know you talked a lot about when he was a freshman at one and done at Kansas, and Joel Embiid. And when you think about the ability to shoot the 3-ball, you talk about Embiid's skill level. Malawach could be on that same path and trajectory as he moves into an NBA career.
He's got to get a little bit more. He's got to I'm sure they work with him every day, obviously, at Duke, in terms of post moves and playing on the inside. But he'll learn that. He'll learn that.
But you remember Embiid at Kansas was pretty much a shot blocker. He did it defensively.
Nice speed and Shefflin with the stuff, but Lakhin with the dish.
What a nice high-low, great high-low, Lakhin inside right there, the Shefflin. I tell you, Shefflin moves well without the ball. He's done a good job on Flagg, too. Playing very physical.
Yeah,
he's due for a basket. He's due for a basket.
He had a 20-rebound game against Kentucky earlier this year. As Flagg will draw the foul, and he's pretty much been a non-factor in this game.
Yeah, but you talk about post-play, Coach Vitale. This is how you get the job done. But how about Ian Shefflin shielding the defender on his back first, not allowing anyone to be able to get, and then the pass delivered and right to the perfect spot for him to be the only one that can get it, finishing it off with a strong attempt.
Good job.
Started
off this year, struggled a little bit on the free throw line, but he's really elevated that big time.
80%.
Yeah, he's up to 80% and getting better and better.
Only 5 points in the game, but he's got 6 minutes to turn this thing around.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about Cooper Flagg, and even though he's not scoring, it hasn't stopped the rest of his game. Oftentimes you see great players and big-time scorers, when they're not scoring, it affects them defensively. That is not the case with Cooper.
The one thing about Cooper, what he brings to the table, what LeBron did, and those great ones, Magic and Kobe, they make every team, they go to a zone. They go to a zone. He makes everybody better because they get better opportunities, more spacing, because the attention to him is so great.
Jones off the fake, it's an open look. Lakhin taps it out high to Hunter.
It's the second time he's done that in the last 3 possessions.
Offensive rebounding in the favor, 10-6 for the Tigers. They've won the hustle plays, the effort plays throughout this game.
Lakhin will take the hit. Here's our NBA Saturday primetime game at ABC and ESPN Plus. A big Eastern Conference matchup between the Celtics and the Knicks. Our coverage beginning with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Oh, I'm so great there when you see the Celtics really playing well. Obviously, the Knicks have really improved big time.
My guy Mark Jones, who was with me last night for the Sixers at the Pistons, on that call as well, made sure to tell me to tell you hello throughout this day as I left him this morning. Wanted to make sure he sends his best wishes to you on your return.
I appreciate that. Hey, UB Brown, they're going to have a farewell tomorrow. I can't tell you how much we learned from UB. He's a Jersey guy, the Jersey boys. Fratello, Adebayo, UB Brown. You know, there it is. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. He is special when the game is needed.
But how about him getting to see the free throw go through and how that opens things up for him on the perimeter?
UB is so special. I wish him the best. 91 years of age. He knows more basketball than any human being I ever knew.
For the record, that's my Super Bowl tomorrow. Watching Hubie do his last game.
Shefflin tried to dump it downstairs. Not going to play with 7 on the shot clock. We are tied at 59 in under 5 minutes.
Effective offensively today, Hunter.
But they've got to get Chase going downhill, not settling for threes. And as the shot clock is at 7 seconds for the Tigers, you like to see him attacking off the bounce if they can create space for him to be able to get to the rim.
So Dylan Hunter to put it in. And his big brother Chase will certainly be a target.
Brad's on the court coaching, man. He is out there coaching his heart. He doesn't want another heartbreak. He had it against, Georgia Tech. And then Monday night he's here when you guys are going to be here against North Carolina.
That's right. They're 1-3 in overtime games this year. So they've been bitten a couple times, 3 times.
Out of 5 losses.
In for Lakhin. Shot clock to 5. Lakhin to the paint, falls away, hits it.
He has been impressive today. He has really been impressive.
9 of 12 for Lakhin.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's 75%.
Really good. Now, we know you're a math teacher, showing off your numbers out here.
Lakhin with 19. James back to Flagg. Here's Proctor, who had a huge first half. Shot clock a factor. Down to 4. He'll heave it, and he hits it. Wow.
He's been the guy. He's been the guy for the Blue Devils all evening long and comes up with the biggest shot for them to give them a 1-point lead with 4 minutes remaining.
Tell you one thing, he is not afraid to take the big shot. Veteran player.
23 points. Zachary on the move, swatted away by Malawach, who's playing with 4 fouls.
Malawach, unbelievable. A rim protector came over, took that drive right away. Said, "Thou shalt not enter thy lane."
Tyrese Proctor with the big response.
As kid, trust me, no child should go through what I've gone through. I'm 85, man, but no child should have to suffer. We need more dollars for research.
You have raised almost $100 million.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. Here's Hunter on the move on Flagg. The pull-up. He sticks it.
They needed that good mid-range jumper. He excels in that usually all year long. I mean, he's been a scorer deluxe for that.
Chase Hunter with just 8 points, Dick, but a big one here. And it puts the Tigers back in the lead. Flagg, a lot of contact, and hooks it in.
How about the stars showing up?
The big stars showing up. You got Chase on one side, and Cooper, who's not All-American, he's all-world. He's all-world, man.
Shefflin. Malawach over to help. Shefflin on the back down. Zachary on the attack off the window for 2 more.
That was a tough shot because Malawach came over and really almost adjusted his shot.
And the veteran
that was a tough shot by Zachary.
Zachary, the veteran, understanding how to play.
We may go right to the wire, man. We may go right to the wire. Will Duke be undefeated? Will Duke be #1? Or will Clemson spoil the party?
Pinipple off the front iron. Boy, Shefflin is a tough
Look at that tenacity. Unbelievable tenacity out of that kid, Shefflin.
Lakhin commanding the ball. He'll draw the foul at 2:33 on the clock.
You know, you said it earlier, Dave. Against Kentucky, they beat Kentucky on this floor. And that's when Kentucky beat 6 teams that were ranked in the top 15 in the country. Mark Polk at the time had the club really rolling. Shefflin in that game was the reason they won. He had 20 rebounds. 20 rebounds. That's being a Windex man. That's working the Windex.
And a tough rebound on this end of the floor with Malawach all over him. But that's one of the things that Clemson has done extremely well throughout this game. They've limited Duke to 1 shot on each possession. The Blue Devils with only 6 offensive rebounds. However, Clemson double figures, 11 offensive boards in this game.
They've out rebounded Duke. And that's a rarity. Look at Brad. Look at Brad on the sideline. He is orchestrating. He's making all gyrations. As coaches, man. I like sitting here. You always win with. One guy's going to leave here happy, and one guy's going to have a miserable Super Bowl.
Lakhin made the pair.
By the way, Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs. Barkley will be the difference.
Lakhin 21-13 in the second half. Malawach handing off. Proctor has been such a huge factor in this one.
Right now becomes Cooper Flagg time. Whether it's a pass or whether it's a jump shot.
Flagg gets it up there and hits it, a triple. Tied at 67.
But Flagg, after knocking down the 3, is screaming to Malawach to get back and match up with Viktor Lakhin, understanding that Lakhin has been a problem for everyone else to defend, wants to make sure Malawach gets back in that matchup.
Let me tell you something. That was one tough 3 he made.
Dylan Hunter.
They don't want to be denied, man. They don't want to be denied.
On a pass from his brother. Tigers up 3.
Dylan Hunter coming off a career high 38 minutes in that triple overtime game last time out.
It's Cooper time. It's Cooper time.
Flagg, another hook off the window, no whistle. Malawach keeps it alive. Proctor, an open look. Flagg flies in and takes a knock there as he goes to the floor.
Yeah, the big 3 here, avoiding the shot blocker and Lakhin, gets him in the air and then able to elevate, knock down the 3 ball, and then a huge offensive rebound for the Blue Devils on the last possession.
That offensive rebound, you talk about rebounding laterally and going after the ball. He went laterally for that ball. He was determined to get it, and now he earned free throws. He's elevating his game the last 4 or 5 minutes.
1-and-1 hits the front end.
He's become a very good free throw shooter.
Look at our stars tonight. The stars coming into the game, certainly. Chase Hunter with just 8. Cooper Flagg 5 for 15 shooting it. But he's at the line for another one.
We were talking a few minutes ago that he had like 5 points. Game was on the line. It became Cooper Flagg time.
And misses the second. And a whistle with 1:15 to go.
Protection, a big loss for the Blue Devils down the stretch. You see Ian Shefflin trying to keep the taller Malawats off of his back, but that left forearm shoving Shefflin while he's in midair. They're going to call that every time, especially when you don't come up with the rebound.
They continue to work on the calves of Cooper Flagg.
He's walking pretty good now.
To be completely honest, if I'm Cooper, I stay over by the huddle and continue to get my calves worked on while the free throws are being shot. Sion James can handle the box out responsibility there, but with the minute 15 remaining, and of course, the potential for overtime in this building is great. So it could be much more basketball for Cooper to play.
Yeah.
Got to make those free throws, man.
Shefflin.
He was walking pretty good, though. I watched him walk up and down from the bench. He was very smooth.
But you've had cramps before. You know it only takes that one step.
It's very warm in this building, too. Boy, he missed a pair.
Too big free throws. That could be a little fatigue right there. He's playing so hard.
James on the drive, back for Flagg. Clemson by 2. 1 minute to go as Flagg launches and drains it.
Are you serious? Are you serious? How good? A kid his age should be in high school. Wow. Just wow.
Give him 18. Despite all the problems with his legs here down the stretch, 52.9 and Duke by 1.
We've seen it all year long. Cooper Flagg gives Duke whatever they need.
He's got to use his driving ability and forget the three-point shot.
So here we go. 52.9. Chase Hunter coming around, runs right into Flagg. Dylan Hunter back to his brother. Chase wants to move and banks it in.
Downhill, baby, downhill. Wow, I got something right in my life. I can't believe it. He went downhill. Now can they defend? Now you know Mr. Flagg is going to get the rock right here, baby.
James.
Yes, sir, give it to number 2.
Airborne pass here, right back to James. He'll drive, tough angle. He's denied. Clemson shut him down. And Duke commits the foul with 21.5.
Dickie V, do you think Cooper was a little too passive on that possession?
Yeah,
I thought he should have kept it and tried to make a play on his own or to find one of his teammates.
Yeah, I really do. I think at times he's a little bit, he wants to get everybody involved.
Viktor Lakhin coming over with a huge block. One of the best in the ACC. As he gets that block but gets it off the glass and is able to be able to maintain possession. Missed 2 big free throws on an earlier possession. An opportunity to give the Tigers a 3-point lead here with 21.5 remaining.
Free throw line is big. Shefflin missed 2 big ones. He missed. You got to make these free throws. You want to win. You want to leave with the win. You want no moral victory. You don't want to leave and say, oh, we played Duke tough. That doesn't get you anything, man.
Lakhin, the senior from Russia, 71% at the line. And it spins out.
Oh, how close.
But that one miss, even if he makes this one, changes what you have to do if you're the Blue Devils. Now you can attack the basket, try to get a score, or even get fouled, get to the free throw line to tie the game. So that miss makes things much different for the Blue Devils and their options.
Well, at least this one here, if they go for a 2, you got a tie game versus the win. He misses that to get the win.
Tigers 73-71.
Well, Shefflin's going to be tested right here.
Timeout.
He's going to be tested.
Duke takes one.
Let me just share the thing about the missed shot being offensively rebounded. You've got to watch for the offensive rebound.
In for Flagg.
And you know he wants it. He's going downhill.
Flagg making a move. Slips
he
and
slipped.
falls, and he travels and turns it over.
That happened. That happened to Cooper Flagg. Slipped against Kansas and against Kentucky at the end of the game. Remember those?
I do remember it.
He slipped. The floor. Oh, man, it put some perspiration in, man. Oh, devastated.
Man,
that's not the kid's fault. That's just unbelievable.
But think about
let him slide. He's skating. He's skating.
As the players come out onto the floor and they're waiting.
This was earlier. And kind of quickly going over the spot there.
But here's another thing. As the players come out on the floor waiting for action to happen, of course, all these guys are perspiring. Sweat is dripping on the floor when you're standing in one spot.
Hunter tried to get it in, but calls a timeout, so they burned that one, their last one. And now neither side has a timeout remaining with 14.7 to go.
Cooper Flagg going over to the same spot.
Oh, wow.
And slips again.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
But Dickie V, look at him. He's grimacing right now. He's dealing with...
That really, really happened to Cooper against Kansas and Kentucky. The end of the game, slipping on the floor. I mean, that's not a player's fault. You can't help that.
But a giant turnover, obviously. It's back over to the Tigers here after the timeout.
You got to be careful throwing this ball in bounds, man. You got to be careful throwing this ball in bounds.
Dylan Hunter from the baseline. Got it into his brother, and immediately Chase is fouled, and he's a 91% foul shooter.
Yeah, he's a real good free throw shooter. He really, look at his stats, he really fills up that stat sheet. He fills it up, baby.
Malik Brown with a foul.
He's a staff.
Brad Brownell and his team suffered a heartbreaking defeat on this floor earlier this week to Georgia Tech in triple overtime. And then they have Duke in town, the #2 team in the country. Duke #2, Auburn #1 has already lost today to Florida.
Tell you what, if you could pick one guy you want on that free throw line, Mr. Brownell, he's got the star on the free throw line.
Over 1,600 points in his career. He knocks down #1. And now he can make it a 4-point game.
This is big. If it's a 3-point, you got a chance. You foul, don't let him shoot the 3. But you don't foul right away, obviously. You got 14 seconds. But he can make it academic if he makes this.
Duke out of timeouts. Hunter #2.
You want this kid on the free throw line if you're Clemson. This is the guy you want on that line.
Clutch.
Great stroke.
75-71, the Tigers.
Are they going to empty out the stands? You think the stands are going to empty out? We will get hurt, will we? We get hurt.
Proctor on the drive, went for the scoop, and it is deflected away by Hunter.
Oh, baby.
What a play defensively.
They smell that W, baby. They smell that W. Look at this exactly.
7.7.
Upset City. We got a new #1, and it's not going to be Duke. And
Tyrese Proctor tried to attack. Chase Hunter with a huge block from behind, denying that opportunity. The officials are going over to make sure that...
That's why they're stars, baby. Stars rise to the challenge.
No Cooper Flagg on the floor right now for the Blue Devils.
In for Chase Hunter, cradles the ball and draws the foul at 5.8.
They get it to the right guy. That's coaching right there. Make sure you get the ball to the right guy. And a new 5 team.
An Alabama team that they lost to, that they beat early in the year at Alabama in the inaugural ACC-SEC Challenge. But that speaks about one of the most undervalued coaches in our game nationally, Brad Brownell, doing a tremendous job with this team and getting them off the mat from a loss on Tuesday and prepared them to beat the #2 team in the country here this evening.
Tell you one thing, he's not undervalued now. Check his paycheck. It's coming. It's pretty cool. He deserves it. He earned it.
Chase Hunter drilling #1. These fans are ready to take to the court.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here they go, baby. Here they go.
5.8 away from knocking off the #2 team in the country.
I'm going to see you guys next week down at Duke, Stanford.
I hope so. And he makes another one, putting this one away at the foul line. They're a very good foul shooting team, 78%.
And 81 in ACC
Especially
play.
having a 90% shooter in Hunter.
Tigers on a 7-0 run the last 33 seconds. Flagg gets it on the inbounds. He'll heave it up there and short. Tapped around. That will do it.
Oh, baby. Here they come. Here they come.
The Tigers knock off Duke 77-71. That's your final. And we're going to have a new #1 team come Monday. Because Auburn lost earlier today. Their 5th consecutive win against an AP top 5